Okay, so Kathy, you asked to learn how to make the quilts the way I make them, the rag quilts. So the first thing you want to do is you want to pick out your materials. What I've got here is I've got a couple of pillow designs. They're big enough that you can make pillows, throw pillows for the kids' beds and stuff. So I've picked those out to go into my quilt with the princesses in them. And then I also had some pink material that matches it real well. And I also found some material that was smaller, but it still had the princesses and Snow White, all of that in it. So what I did was I took these and I measured my block to determine what size I wanted to make my quilt blocks. And when I cut these out, they came up to 8 inches. And you have to have an extra ½ inch on each side. So when I'm finished, my block is going to be 7 inches. So I'm going to have a 7 by 7 block. So what I did was I took on a piece of graph paper and I drew out how I wanted to do this. So the purple blocks are representing my little squares here, my 8-inch squares. Of course, they're 7 inches by the time it's going to be finished. The pink blocks are my pink piece of material. And the 2 green blocks are going to be, they represent the big pillow topper ones. So I drew all that out, and then I started adding it up. So I had 7, 14, 21. So that means this big one, I have to make sure I cut it at 21 inches. So that way I'm going to have a 42 by 63. Because I'm making this to go on a toddler bed. So it just depends on what size you want on how many blocks across you're going to go. And so what you're going to do is you're going to cut 8-inch blocks, 2 for every one colored in. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So you just count them up and you double the amount of blocks you need. And then out of the purple also, out of my little things, I figured out how many I needed. But this is different than a normal quilt topper because the back on this has the exact same design as the front. So for every one of these, you need to cut a second one. You need to have 2. Another thing that you're going to need is called Osnaburg. And this is fairly inexpensive. It's in the muslin section. And it frays really, really good. So that's why you want Osnaburg. If you can't find it, you can use just regular white muslin. So once you've got it all designed out and all of your pieces cut, since I want 7-inch squares, I cut them all at 8 inches. And of course I haven't cut my big pieces yet. I'll do those later. So once you figure it out, get it all cut out, and I advise cut everything at once. That way you have it, and once you sit down to sew, you can just sit and sew with it. So when you're ready to sew, you're going to quilt as you go on this. So we've got the sewing machine here. And I'm unthreading mine because what I'm getting ready to show you I don't need to make, but it'll give you the idea of what you need. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a sandwich. You're going to take, let's do the pink ones first. You're going to take the pink, you're going to put right side down. You're going to put a piece of Osnaburg in, and then you're going to put a piece with the right side up. So you've got the right side up and the right side down. Doesn't matter if it lines up perfect because this is a rag quilt, so it's going to fray. It's going to be a little bit sloppy at first, but it all comes together at the end. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to do a random quilting on this because it's quilt as you go. You just start wherever you want, put your needle down. You want to make sure that you don't quilt this outer ½ inch all the way around. So you just want to make sure that you don't go all the way to the edge on your quilting. You just want to make sure you just go around. And so you're going to start. I mean, it's not going to do it because I have it unthreaded. So I guess I will have to quilt this one. Sometimes the smart machine gets to me. It's smarter than I am. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a random quilting on it. So you just kind of like turn it here, turn it there. Again, stay within that 1/2 inch there. Leave that open. Okay, on this one we're doing just a random design. You don't want to cross over where you were before. You just want to keep going random. Don't cross your lines over where you've already sewn. Some of it up this way. Now, if you wanted to do straight lines or diamonds or any particular pattern in here for your quilting, that's purely up to you. I have found that just doing this random is the quickest, easiest, and does really good. So here we have one quilted piece. As you can see, I've got the 3 layers, and they're all quilted together. So what you want to do is you want to do all of them that you've got in the pinks and in whatever your contrasting, whatever your 2 contrastings are. So I've already got some done here. So what I'm going to do is on the next step, since the front and the back both match, you just figure out, sometimes you can do a different back, but you just put your wrong sides together. So the front of the quilt, you want it facing you. And again, you want a 1/2 inch for your seam. So you're going to come out the 1/2 inch and you're going to sew straight down and sew them together. Okay, so then you want to do another one on this side, because as you remember, the pattern, it shows purple, pink, purple. So I need another purple on this side. Make sure you have them both facing the same direction up. I've put them on upside down before. Put your wrong sides together. And then sew right down it. Okay. Once you have, since I only needed 3 going across, that's all I've done. It's 1, 2, 3. Once you have those sewn together, take your scissors and you want to clip this all the way back, but you do not want to clip where you stitched. So you want to stop just a hair before where you stitched. You want to do it on all of your seams. Okay, so we have one row down here done. So once you get that row done, you can make the second row and just keep working up all the way. Just do a 9 patch there. Just make your square that's going to match and go with your big pattern there. And so I've already got one of those done, and it's all clipped. And so I've sewed 3 together, I clipped them, sewed 3 together, clipped those, then I just took wrong sides, put them together, sewed that, and clipped them, and did the same thing on this top. So make this 9 patch, and then just follow your pattern on placement of what you're going to do next. So I'm going to need a purple, pink, purple, pink, purple, pink. Keep going up. So you need a 9 patch here and a 9 patch here. And then you're going to need to make 6 across. And that's just for my pattern. Your pattern may have more or less. Your size of your blocks may be different. You can make them any size that you need to make the size of quilt you got. So let's see if that helps you out any. And once we get all these squares done and everything, when I go on to the next step and have, I'll go ahead and make another tape for you. All right, bye.